Alright guys, back to the WCS Challenger League Qualifier. We currently have our last best of 3 of the day. We have, starting to the top right, FXO TheBest. That's Terran in orange. And to the bottom left we have a former teammate of Coca, who also ventured into the depths of LoL, got lost a little bit, found his way and came back to StarCraft. It is Puzzle.
Yeah, we'll see what he's going to show us today. Puzzle was actually going up and up in his career until he left. Like, his best performance ever was probably his WCS Korea qualifier, where he bombed out suddenly against Hero from CJ Entis in a very, very strange PvP series. But nowadays he's back playing StarCraft 2, and he's checking to see if TheBest is proxying him, because TheBest is known for his weird all-ins.
Yep. And one of the things that's also really interesting is that a Puzzle, of course, in this particular scenario is like, he's like the... I didn't get the thing. What is the lost son thing?
What?
The wayward son, or what is that called?
What, a bastard? You mean, like...
What? No, like... Oh man, the Bible thing. For a second I wanted to call him the homecoming queen because he came home to StarCraft.
Fallen from grace or something, you mean?
No man, that's StarCraft thing. Bible, whatever.
StarCraft Bible?
No, not the prodigal son. Thank you very much, chat. Wolf doesn't get it. You guys at least know what I'm talking about. I embarrass myself enough. Come on,
like sunsets? I don't know.
Just take over. And,
okay,
I'm
well,
digging my own grave here.
The probe C is the gas. Doesn't get the wall off because his barracks is not part of a wall. So he knows, okay, you're going for some sort of gas opening, but only 2 in gas. Now the 3rd.
Yep, so now we have the 3rd also coming in, and as you can see, barracks is nearly completed, so he will have the gas fairly soon to go straight into the factory.
Khaldor, do you have an aversion to in-game music? I noticed that you always have in-game music off.
Oh, actually, no, I just turned it off earlier, because I have in-game music set up so that it's actually also playing when you're not in StarCraft.
Ah, so that would be annoying for the background people, yeah.
Exactly, and for the background, I turned it off and I forgot to turn it on, but yeah, you're right. So
now I like this.
Yeah.
Gives a good feel, a good mood. TheBest is somebody who's known for not only his poor Banshee control, but also his all-ins and timing attacks against pros. And we only casted 1 non-pros versus Terran game this entire day.
Yeah, it's really weird, right?
Every single game we've casted has had a pros. A lot of pros that are popular are playing and trying to make their way into StarCraft 2.
So music seems to be a little bit too loud. Well, don't worry, guys. There's not a lot going on, so I will just make that... Actually, I don't remember putting the music up this loud.
Oh, I actually changed it earlier because I thought it was too low, but I think my headset volume was different at the time than it is now.
Yeah,
so
that makes more sense. I looked at that and I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
This is much better now.
Okay. So at this point we have now the first game between Puzzle and TheBest. And keep in mind, this is not the final just yet. We're currently looking at the semi-final here, and it's also a best of 3. So game 1 between these 2 players. And as you can see to the top right, the probe is just sneaking in, confirming that there is actually a command center, which is exactly what Puzzle wants to know here. He wants to know, are you trying to fake me out, or are you actually really building a CC and I can just drone up behind, or probe up, that is?
Yeah, that's the question. I wonder what strategies we're going to see from TheBest, because he's not one to play the late game. He's making 1 Reaper out of his reactor to barracks so he can jump in and see if Puzzle went for Gates first or Robo first, which in this case is going to be Gates.
What I find really interesting is that we have the Reaper here right now for the scouting information. He really wants to get that in. So that means he doesn't sacrifice a scan, and if he actually keeps the Reaper alive, he can use it later on to scout for a 3rd base, for example. But right now, of course, he's just checking at those 2 Zanaga watchtowers and searching basically for warp in pylons.
Yeah, he's just being very, very enthusiastic about his scouting. Puzzle is somebody who plays a similar style, at least in Wings of Liberty, to Creator, oftentimes with double upgrades very early on. But he was also somebody who was known for his immortal timing attacks, something that we've seen a lot even in this very qualifier, in fact.
Yep, the Reaper is still on the hunt, trying to find a pylon. I have to disappoint him though, there is no warp-in pylon on the map just now, so the Reaper will actually have a very, very unfulfilled life, at least for the first few minutes.
Yeah, he might actually just jump right into the main base if he wants to.
might just jump right over the cliff. Yeah.
Yeah, he could do, you know, so if there's a cliff there, he can jump. He has that ability. What's the ability called again? I forgot.
The Reaper ability, the jetpack thing?
Yeah.
They call it...
Just jetpack, I suppose, yeah. Alright.
The jetpack
That's
thing,
why I couldn't think of it. I was like, what is that one? I'm like, it can't be jetpack, even though it is a jetpack.
Yeah. Well, here comes the Observer now going into the main base, and one of the things that we currently have from the best is also going into Widow Mines. And Widow Mines, especially when dropped into the main base, can be very dangerous. We've seen this in a lot of the games earlier today already, and so far the only thing that, yeah, Puzzle really wants to know is what exactly are you gonna do? What are you up to? And he's trying to just pace around with the Observer so that he's not immediately being spotted, because you can see all those Marines, they are actually waiting for an Observer. This is like the direct path into the main base that an Observer would take, and as long as the best focuses on this area, one scan would take the Observer out.
Yeah. Puzzle just being very smart. He did this with his scout as well. He sent a scout to the north so that the best wouldn't see it coming. Oh, but that was... Well, that's unfortunate. But he did see the Widow Mines, so he knows there are a few Widow Mines he's going to have to deal with, and will likely keep his second Observer very close by as a result.
This is exactly what he does. I mean, he moves back with a second Observer immediately as he realizes as well. We have Widow Mines, but there might actually be a drop headed my way, so I have to be a little bit more careful here. And you can really just see that the best is moving out at this point. Trying to get a little bit closer here.
Looks like he's going to go for that Widow Mine drop, and the Hallucinated Phoenix not only sees the army, but sees the dropship as well, so he should be able to position himself. He's got his units on the ramp, it looks like, right now, but he needs to make sure he's got some in the main base and some of the natural well split.
Yeah, there are none, and also the Observer isn't here.
The cannon, though.
This is going to be really, really dangerous. I mean, there are so many Marines now headed right at the natural. The cannon, you're right, that is definitely something that will help him out, but there are also a few Marines.
Yep, and here comes the attack. Great Force Fields! Puzzle's old idea was Force Field Mon, and it shows.
And here comes the drop into the main base. He needs to take out the cannon, though, if he wants to make sure that there's no detection. And one Marine is already down. The best decides to head straight to the natural, or the cannon alone already makes sure that this is not going to be a success.
Yeah, this was just such a great defense by Puzzle. No hesitation at all in the probe pull, and the cannon being there. A lot of people would skip that, but Puzzle just immediately makes it without even knowing exactly what he's going to face, because he knows that if he doesn't have an Observer, or if the Widow Mine gets further, he's going to lose a lot of mine time while his Observer's gone. It's very cautious play by him. The best does take a supply lead. He's powering up a lot of barracks right now, which, with these 3 barracks coming... Oh, hold that thought. Ooh.
That could get dangerous, but what can he actually get? Nothing. Just chrono boost, sorry, speed boosts out there, and gets the medevac to safety. Only 2 shots.
Right. One of the things I was going to mention, but the best so rudely dropped while I was talking, is that I think that the best is going to hit a 2-base timing with the SCV pull, since he's adding all these barracks right now, and he hasn't added a 3rd command center, not even at the natural.
He also stopped producing SCVs. He's at 48 now, and this already indicates that he doesn't want to go into a 3rd base anytime soon.
This is what he's known for. He's known for his time switch. Look at that, 3 tech labs going down. He's going to hit with a heavy Marauder force.
Yeah.
This is going to be really scary for Puzzle to deal with. He will have to rely on his 2-2 upgrades, which are going to be done probably by the time his attack hits, and also his Colossi with range and good force fields, and last but not least, his Mothership Core. The best confirms over and over again that there is no 3rd base for his opponent. We now even have the Colossi moving out towards the Xel'Naga Watchtower, trying to take a position in the center of the map. The Zealot controlling now the vision range, and we have all these upgrades coming up. +2/+2 would be so helpful for him. The best already moving out, but he's actually taking a 3rd base. He's going into the command center at the 3rd, still not producing SCVs. He's at 49 against 57. Didn't go back into the worker production, but doesn't pull them either. Yeah, this is so interesting. We have seen players go into the 3rd command center like a little bit more safe like this. We've also seen players make the 3rd command center and then pull the SCVs from it anyways. He has to realize that he's so behind in upgrades that if he doesn't make something happen very soon drastically, he's going to find himself up against that 3-3 Protoss army in the late game that no Terran player ever wants to face. It gives Terran players nightmares. Yeah. Ghost Academy is now also on the way, so he can deal with everything that Puzzle throws against him. So at this point, we currently see the best looking at 127 supply, taking the 3rd base a lot faster than his opponent does. He went back into the SCV production, and he's just playing a really solid game here. His upgrades are a lot behind. You already pointed that out, and still, we have now both of them heading into a really macro game. I expected, as you did, a 2-base timing attack by at least one of those players. Yeah. This is interesting. Puzzle's 3rd base is very late, but his upgrades are so ahead that with those, he should be able to make up for the loss of income. He's getting Templar Archives now, so he'll be switching into Templar tag with Storm very soon. And I think we're just going to see a late game. You know, I stand corrected. TheBest really wants to pull it into the late game. So, charge is finished now as well. Mobius Reactor getting closer to being done. He's timing it out with his Ghost decently well here, so he can deal with that Templar switch. And double gates going down here. Sorry, we had like a bit of an interruption on the stream, and now everything's fine. And 2-2 is done for Puzzle, but he does not start 3-3, which gives... Obviously, TheBest is not going to catch up very quickly, but if he doesn't start that soon, the upgrade advantage is going to be lessened, and there's the armor.
Yep. Currently 4 Colossi in total, 8 Vikings on the other hand for TheBest, who's still producing Vikings, so this is definitely something that will give Puzzle a huge problem. And just looking at this, we have TheBest just edging out the supply lead over Puzzle. He's already 20 supply ahead, and we have him with +2/+2. Already, well, started a little bit later. So this is the one sacrifice that he made. He is behind in the upgrades, even though he has the strong arm.
Yeah. Well, Puzzle is... Exactly, and Puzzle is starting as 3-3. He delayed it quite a bit, so that gap isn't as big as it would be otherwise. And there's only going to be a short while where Puzzle has 3-3 before TheBest has 3-3, but it does not look like he's going to have 3-3 before TheBest has 2-2.
More and more Colossi now coming out for Puzzle. TheBest still on 3 bases, and he's starting to move out with his army. He's actually pulling a couple of SCVs here.
Yeah, a lot of them. This is what I was talking about. You know, you could still do this off
and
of 3 base.
There's the rest. At first I really thought he might just pull a few to just get a new expansion, get the refineries up immediately. The timing was a little bit odd, but then with the rest that he just pulled, this looks very different right now. This is
looks
definitely
deadly.
The massive attack.
There are so many ghosts in here. In total, he has 8 ghosts with this push in 18 Marauders with 12 Vikings. Don't forget about the Widow Mines, but here we go. He already engaged with those Vikings, picking off that Colossus shields immediately.
What? Takes down the Mothership Core, and all those Colossi are really in trouble, but here we have the Time Warp, and the Bioforce is not underramped just yet.
Yeah, he does take out that Colossus. The Stalker's taking out a lot of the Vikings, but now that the Force Fields fade, that Bio Army can come through.
And Best has still a huge supply lead here, takes down another Colossus. The last one is still being attacked. The Bioforce is going to town.
The army is just too strong here. There's way too many Marauders. The last Archon falls. The Colossus does as well. Puzzle 20 supply down, but his reinforcements are going to be cut off. TheBest is right down on his throat, stopping the 3-3 upgrade from finishing. Takes out that Forge. He's going to go right into the main base as well.
Takes down the production buildings. He is in Puzzle's face right now. TheBest still with the lead, and now suddenly we have the reinforcements coming in for Puzzle, but is it going to be enough? He already he lost his gateways. He lost also his
Stalkers, his robotics. GG.